So this is where we left off last time, where we created modeled and rigged this four-legged robot. The goal for today is or for this lesson rather, is to get to show you how to do a four-legged walk. So something like this. Now, if there's time in the same video, what I'll do is I'll do the left and the right and then the back. All right, so here we are in where we left off last time. And really the way you want to look at this is, let's say we're going to do a 30 frame cycle. So let's say we're doing this for, and I'm clicking the little Dunkin' Donuts guy. So here in my settings, I'm going to meters. And then if I go to timeline, time slider here, it says frame rate 24 frames. We want to go set it to 30 frames per second. And then for playback speed, 30 frames times 1. So now when we set this to 30 frames, what we want to do is, and we'll take a look at just the front legs first. The way you animate this is, it's sort of, when you're doing a four-legged walk, it's the inverse. The front legs are walking like a regular person essentially, and the back legs are walking, they're the inverse of this. So let's analyze the front first. So let's grab this front leg here and then just kind of extend it as far as we can. Make sure you have a little bit of a curve there. And let's make sure we're starting on frame 1 here. So I'm going to press the S, like Sam key. I'm also going to turn on auto key here. And when we press S, come on. Oops, looks like it was still there. Okay, let's try that again. S, there we go. We get the little red line for setting a key. Let's also set a key on 30. And then on frame 15, let's slide this foot all the way back towards somewhere in the center like this. So you get something like this. Now, as I mentioned, this leg here is the inverse, so it's almost like a walk. So as this leg is forward, this leg is back. And really, let's take a look at 15 really quick. This is, and I tend to like to make sure the numbers are more whole than, or fraction. So like, for example, this is minus 0.5. So this one here, if we start off on 1 and we set a key, we want to make sure that this is also minus 0.5 here. And then this one here is 0.387, so let's just make this a 0.4. And I'm going to middle mouse click on 30 and then hit S to set a key. So that way 30, so here's 1, and then as it slides back, 0.5, and then here, we want to make sure this is also minus 0.4. Oops, not minus 0.4, I'm sure, 0.4. So here's 1. Again, with this highlight, I'm going to middle mouse click on 30, then hit S to set a key, and then it should lock it in at 0.4. There we go. Okay. So same thing with this one. On 1, it's minus 0.5. Go to 30. I'm working on this leg here. Hit S to set a key. Then on 15, we want to do 0.4. So let's press play at this point. So we get some sliding. Now, there's always, whether it's human or robot or whatever, there's always a leg that whatever leg is moving towards the front, right? So this foot is sliding forward. You want it to be, it has to lift off the ground and set down. So somewhere around frame 7 or 8, it's up to you. I'm just going to lift the foot off the ground, and I'm going to go with let's see how 0.2 looks there, and then, you know what, I like it. I'm going to undo that. I kind of like this. Let's do minus 0.1. Yeah, that's fine. And then up here, we'll do a 0.4. No, that's too high. 0.3. There we go. So we have the foot on the floor here. As it moves forward, it comes up, and then it plants on 15. And sometimes if your Y is not keyed, you want to set that to 0. So you get something like this. So it's lifting off and then setting down, and then it slides back here. So on 15, remember, that's when this foot starts to slide forward, right? So here it's sliding back, and then in 15, we can go all the way to, let's see, we'll try 21. I kind of like 22 for that positioning. So if you remember this leg here on 7, we did 0.3 and minus 0.1. So I'm just going to copy those by highlighting both and hitting Control C. And then we'll do 21. What the heck? And then we'll paste this here. Oh, looks like I paste both. So, all right, let's just do this quick mental note. 0.3 minus 0.1. So 21.3 minus 0.1, and hopefully it plants. So if we press play here, we get this really quick leg movement going on. There we go. Now, remember what I said before? The back is the inverse of the front. So since this leg is forward, we just take this foot, slide it towards the middle. Let's do a 0.5 here. And let's set a key. And this might be a little bit too exaggerated, but what the heck. So let's go to 30, set a key. And then on 15, let's make sure that this foot is forward, because this is the opposite of that leg. So we get that slides this way, that foot goes down. All right. Now, as this foot's sliding forward, remember it's the inverse, right? So that foot goes up on 7 here, minus or 0.3. So on this one, we're going to go minus 0.3. Oops, sorry, 0.3. There we go. Something like this. And then on 15, let's zero this out. So let's play that. Pretty cool. All right. Same thing with this one. Let's go back to 1. And at this point, this is extended. Let's do minus 0.3. And let's set a key. Oops. Let's set a key on 1, and let's set a key on 30. And then on 15, what do we got here? Minus 0.5. So this would be, because it's the across the body, so it's a regular 0.5. So remember, we're working with negatives in this direction, positives in this direction. So let's play that, and then we're going to add the liftoff. So as this one comes forward from 15 to 30, so let's do 21 here. This one was at 0.3 and minus 0.1. So let's do 0.3 and, oh, I think this was 0.3. Yeah, and then this was minus 0.1. All right, let's play that. There we go. It looks like there's a little bit, the liftoff might be too early on this. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. So you shouldn't have anything. All right, let's play that. All right, looks good. Let's make it a little bit more engaging with, take a look at it from this angle. Yeah, really mechanical. Let's see. Okay. So let's do NURBS curves. Let's bring those curves back. And for now, what we want to do is, as our legs go up, right, we can, well, let's say on 1, this is our flat position. So we can go to 15 here. And then since all of our legs are down, we can kind of move our robot down a little bit. So we'll set a key there. And then on 1, we move our robot up. And then I'm going to set a key on 30 to lock that in. So here we have something like this. Just a little up and down movement. It might be a little, this leg might get affected too much. Let's see, when is it starting to flip out? Here, because we're still too low at this point. So we might be going too low on 15. So let's move that up just a little bit. Like that. A little more subtle. So let's play that. Looks pretty good. And what we can do is a free, like as it's high here on 1, a few frames off as the body's coming down, we can grab this head and just add a little bit of secondary overlapping animation. So I'll, here, let's undo that. Let's set a key on 1, a key on 15, and then a key on 30. So now we'll go a few frames off as it's falling here. We'll lift it up. So we get something like this. That might be too, I'm going to hold shift and click on that and shift it over to 7. Let's see how that looks. And that might be way too pronounced too. Let's just make that 0.5 or minus 0.5 maybe. Ooh, well, we'll eyeball it for a second. Okay, so we're 0 here. We'll do 0.1 here. There we go. So like as we lift up, actually I kind of like the idea of these legs going up and then maybe the torso goes up a little bit as those legs go up. Let's try that. Goes up, and then as it comes down, and then on 21 as those legs go up. So let's see, 17, we are at minus 0.1, let's say, minus 0.01. And then on 21, let's middle mouse click and copy that key. Minus 0.01, try that. There we go, so we get a nice little pop. And we should do the same pop on 21. So here it's at 0.1 here. So on 21, let's do 0.1 here. And if you want to all together, you can just, get rid of all this. And if you want to make it more mechanical, just like this. Because later too, what we can do is we're going to actually make an animation maybe to have this thing fire like water, or it shoots like a laser beam, or honestly for our demo, really we should just keep working with AI and then make it where if you're seen, it ends the level. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a generic combat game. It could be more of a sneaking game. And these robots are sort of hunting around. All right, so that's it for the creating a walk cycle.